This week we have been talking about time, and we have talked about how we should leverage our time and use our time wisely. We have talked about how God has asked us to number our days because we are temporal beings, and so we need to really number our days so that we can acquire wisdom. And yesterday we talked about how God's timing is always right, even though He transcends time, that He intervenes in particular times. And we talked about how when we wait, God is never late. Today I want to talk to you about rest. So many times we get so consumed in the things that we have to do that our lists go on and on and on, and we find ourselves working and worrying and stressing, and it is not good for us. Research has shown that we have a biological need to rest. God created our human bodies in such a way that we are actually more effective working 6 days and taking 1 day off than if we were to work 7 days in a row. And God set this example for us in Genesis chapter 2. After God had got done creating everything, in the first 3 verses of Genesis chapter 2, it tells us that God rested from all of His work. We fast forward then to Exodus chapter 20, and when God gives Moses the 10 Commandments, He tells him in there that we are to honor the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. That we have 6 days to do all of our work, and on the 7th day we are to rest. And then we fast forward even further, and in Mark chapter 2 verse 27, Jesus, He healed somebody on the Sabbath day, and the religious leaders of His day got really upset and said, "How could you do this on a Sabbath day?" And Jesus said this, while He was teaching them, He said that God had made the Sabbath for man, not man for the Sabbath. So when we understand what Jesus is saying there, what He's saying is that God created a day for you and I to rest. That somehow, some way that you and I need to rest. Maybe you grew up in a home that was very similar to mine, in which my parents were more like those Pharisees that Jesus encountered. And we were not allowed to do anything on Sunday. There was no work to be done, laundry never got done, and my mom's favorite saying that if we did anything on Sunday, it would break on Monday. I don't think that's the way God works, but I do know that God has created us in such a way that you and I need to take a break. We need to take a break from the stress of this world. We need to take a break from our work. We need to take a day in which you and I just rest. And that rest is found ultimately in Jesus Christ, and so it's a day in which we probably should set aside to worship Him and to rest and to rejuvenate spiritually. It's a day in which we are to rest physically. It's a day in which we should set aside to really connect with our family and our loved ones and our friends, and to rest and to rejuvenate relationally. So I want to encourage you, as much as you think that there are so many things that you need to get done, I want to encourage you to every week to take a day and just rest.